Today I'm making my way back from Mauritius to Europe with Condor in business class on their A330NEO. In case you haven't noticed, Condor has quietly gone from an unremarkable leisure airline to something a lot more premium and interesting these days. Or you might say not so quietly, considering the rebrand that included this amazing stripy livery, which I absolutely love, by the way. So let's check out Condor's relatively new business class offering on this 11-hour flight up to Frankfurt this evening. As always, I promise to be transparent with you in these videos, and you should know that Condor did pay for this flight. That's often the case when I do a flight deck video for Flight Radar, and this is one of those included return legs where I do a passenger review for my channel on the way back. All opinions are my own and they haven't been vetted, but now you know, and armed with the full info, you can decide for yourself if I'm bullshitting or not. Welcome to Mauritius. I just came in here a couple of days ago doing a flight deck video with Condor on the 330NEO for Flight Radar 24, and now it's time to go back. Same crew. I had the layover with the crew, stayed at the same hotel as them, hung out with them a little bit during the time here, which was really cool. Such a fun experience, and so grateful to get to do that and kind of embed with an air crew for a bit and see how they live at these outstations. And what a cool outstation to do it at. About to board this blue beauty, the sea blue livery. I think it's Romeo Charlie. Can't quite see. We'll let you know. But one of the beautiful 330NEOs. I love all the colors, but honestly the blue one is probably the winner. And business class tonight, seat 4A. Might take a few moments in the flight deck, mostly to enjoy the views. Otherwise, we'll be checking out business class and how it is on Condor. It'll be my first time really properly doing that, even though I slept an hour or two in the business class seat coming down. I'll of course put a link to that video in the description. It's just so striking, the stripes. I know a lot of people are kind of not convinced about this still, but I just think you recognize these planes anywhere and from a distance too. I mean, look at that. It's just such a, it's like for me, it's the perfect dressing up of an A330. Giving it that mask, these new engines, the bigger engines, this fancy little swoosh winglets, and then adding these Condor stripes on. Here we go, is another view. Loving the rainbow mood lighting. What do you think? So nice. And these are the prime seats you have in the first row, across the whole first row. So you have over there on each window you have one, and then in the center you have this nice pair. So they have extra room overall, and you really notice the difference. You pay extra for these. Once you're in business class, you can pay more to get into these, and this would be especially nice if you're traveling in a pair and you're not obsessed with window views like I am. But solo travel over here, definitely amazing. Right next to the window, perfect views, tons of space, really good. Another bit of info, if you book one of the prime seats, you also get pajamas, which you don't get in the rest of business class, and you get a upgraded amenity kit in a little pouch. So I'm not going to open it and ruin it, but I'll show you the bag. It's kind of nice, soft bag. Whereas the rest get this cardboard
Alles verteilt ist.
This thing, which we can open up later at our seat. At your seat, you'll find headphones, a bottle of water, an amenity kit in a cardboard box, and a little metal box too that you can keep and put whatever you like in. That's a nice touch. Also a pillow, blanket, mattress topper, and stripy slippers. Love it. There's also various forms of power, including much appreciated USB-C. So we got blanket and pillow, pretty nice looking. I'll check out the blanket a little later, we'll take it out of the plastic. Pillow is solid, I think it'll be nice to rest your head on. And then you have a kind of what looks like a mattress topper type of thing, which is always great. And slippers, stripy slippers no less. Very happy with that. And then you have this little amenity kit in a cardboard box, and then you have this metallic box, which is a travel organizer of some kind. We'll also open those up maybe a little bit after departure. And I quite like that the remote has the remaining flight time on it, kind of showing up on the top. That's quite nice, so you don't have to go look for that. You can sort of see at a glance if you wake up in the middle of the night. And headphones, bottle of water, and there's power. We have USB-C and A, which is great, and also universal power plug, which all seem to be working as far as I can see, and headphone jack. So, yeah, all pretty good. Huge screen, nice colors, crisp, and some quite pleasant boarding music playing with footage of some of the beautiful destinations Condor flies to. It's all quite nicely done, and great mood lighting. You know I'm a fan of that. Nice welcome drink, champagne or orange juice. Of course I chose champagne. These flights tend to run around 11 hours, 20 minutes back up from Mauritius to Frankfurt, so it's a pretty long one. Good chance to get a lot of sleep, hopefully, and also have some time to check things out, enjoy a bit. But it is on the longer side of flights that I tend to do, so yeah, let's see. It goes much quicker when you're in the cockpit having to record everything, and it's exhausting, but the time passes really fast because there's so much to do. But if you're sitting as a passenger, you know, it can get long, so let's see. It's a good test, actually, for a product. Anyway, not much to see on takeoff, just a little bit of the coast. We saw a bit of the north of Mauritius, Grand Bay, the very popular tourist destination, which is apparently the kind of where all the nightlife is as well. I went up that way to the beach today, but I haven't been up there in an evening, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, it's one of the places a lot of people go to stay. Maybe the most popular spot, I'm guessing from what I've heard, and it seems to be quite a big area as well. Some nice beaches around there as well, and some of the Mauritians have told me that the north is the most beautiful in terms of beaches. Although I really like the mountains down by Flic-en-Flac, Tamarin, and I love those names. And I preferred the beaches down there too. Yeah, it was better than the Montchoisy beach that I went to today, which is closer to Grand Bay in the north. Anyway, and I would say definitely don't stay in Port Louis, where I stayed with the crew. I mean, it was cool to stay at the crew hotel, but there's nothing there, truly. Couple of restaurants. I don't know, I guess there are a few things you could see, a market, things like that, but that's not what I'm coming to Mauritius for, I think. I want the nice beaches at my doorstep. Anyway, almost time to have some dinner. I've ordered the fish curry. We'll see if that was a good choice or not. Seemed like the most kind of Mauritian feeling option. I don't know if it is a Mauritian dish. But also probably the healthier option versus the beef. So we'll see how that goes, and I will open up this amenity kit and travel organizer tin to see what's inside. All right. Maybe we do that right now before they serve anything. They now have 3 beer collabs with BrewDog, which is a really nice collaboration if you ask me. I love that they put the stripes in different colors on the different types of beer. One is a Radler, which is, if you've been to Germany, you probably know, it's a kind of a shandy, lemonade, or Sprite type of drink, we would say in the US, with lager. And then they have the Farian lager, and then they have an alcohol-free one. So I kind of want to try the Radler. And also maybe one of these special cocktails they have, the Condor Politan, if only because it comes in a very funky looking bottle. So we'll see if we can order both for your and my enjoyment. Okay. This garlic bread, I already took a bite. Best garlic bread I've ever had on a flight. A lot of times you get garlic bread on a flight and it's kind of a bit bitter, a bit stale still somehow. This is soft, warmed, perfect, delicious garlic bread. I think I might create an award for Condor specifically. Best garlic bread in the air. No joke. I'm kind of stunned by this. And the starter's really nice as well. A lot of different stuff, a lot of different flavors. Quite fresh. Yeah, right off the bat, impressed. All right, main course, fish curry. Looking pretty promising. We'll see. Yeah, first impression is really good flavor. Works really well on an airplane, I think. Kind of good and strong. Lots of stuff in there. That's what you want at altitude. You have some nice eggplant, roasted eggplant, and kind of steeped in the sauce, and then broccoli as well. It seems quite healthy, good for feeling okay on a plane, and also great flavor. Yeah, really impressed by this meal actually.
All right, let's get this thing into bed mode and get some sleep. And I ended up sleeping a pretty solid 5 or 6 hours, which I consider a good result. It's pretty comfortable, enough to function the next day. And breakfast is pretty nice too. Decent croissant. A huge thank you to this incredibly kind and hospitable crew for inviting me into their unit for these few days to, from, and in Mauritius.
Alright, what a lovely trip on Condor that was. Now, of course, I was invited by the airline and they brought me down in order to do the cockpit video with Flight Radar 24. This is one of those that I do sometimes where I'll be flying back with an airline as a passenger on a ticket that's been provided to me. And the important thing for me, I think, is always to just make that clear. So what I try to do is be fully transparent. I don't always pay for every flight I take myself, and there may also be conflicts of interest sometimes. So my approach is just to be super open about it and let you draw your own conclusions. I had full freedom to say what I want about this flight, but obviously the fact that I was invited, you know, that's worth knowing about for you. And honestly, I found it so surprisingly good. I expected actually something a little more average. The food was really good. The seat was quite comfortable with the little mattress topper for sleeping. I slept a solid 5 hours. Just sort of minor complaints I would have, you know, little things like it would be nice to have a little more storage space. That sort of cubby there gets a little bit filled up, and you know, little things like that. For sleeping on your back, I found that it's a little bit narrow maybe, but on the side it was quite comfortable. So just minor details, which I can pretty much find on any airline. But overall, really solid product, really lovely crew. It was so fun to spend that time with them, coming down with them, sort of getting to know all of them a little bit, both the cabin crew and the pilots. And yeah, just great people. And I always had that impression so far working with Condor, doing things with Condor. Everybody in the company is just kind of happy, good vibes. And that counts for so much for me with an airline, you know? And it's great to see them getting new planes, expanding, serving more places. And for the most part, almost everywhere they go is a place that I would be happy to go as well. So hopefully more Condor flights in the future. I hope you enjoyed that blue beauty, the stripes. Oh, once more, I just love it. Now I gotta navigate Frankfurt Airport and go catch a connection to Stockholm on Lufthansa. Should be interesting. We're waiting for a train now. It's very warm here, including inside the terminal. They've been having a bit of a heat wave. So thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. I'm Gabe Lee.